this is Paris Debono of the Fortune Teller Shop, and welcome to the Trinity Fortune Telling Cards lesson. So in this video, you'll learn how to read the Trinity Fortune Telling Cards. I also have a private group on Facebook, so if you want to join that, all you need to do is purchase this deck, and then that gives you automatic membership to my study group on Facebook. You can only join the Facebook group if you buy the deck, okay? So let me just give you a little bit of background about this deck of cards. It's the Trinity deck, and the reason I created this deck was way back in the year 2000. I was a tarot reader, and I also was an astrologer and palmist, but I hadn't discovered Lenormand cards yet. This predates my knowledge of Lenormand cards. So I wanted a deck of cards that was easy to read and easy to learn, but that the client would not necessarily know how to read it. So what actually triggered the creation of this deck was, one day I was doing a tarot reading for a client, and she also happened to know how to read tarot. So when I was doing this reading for her, she kept interrupting me and telling me that to her, this particular tarot card meant this, and this particular tarot card meant that, and I wasn't reading it the way that she reads it. And finally, out of frustration, I said to her, why did you come to get a tarot reading from me when you already know tarot and you are basically reading over the top of me? And I was quite frustrated because it was like she wanted me to read her cards, but then she was reading them her way anyway. So what was the point of it actually having me there? And after that reading, I went away and I thought I needed a deck of cards that I could use as an alternative to tarot. So if I had this issue with a client again, I would simply just change the cards and use a deck that they didn't know. So I came up with this deck. So each card is in triples. That's why it's called Trinity. Okay, 3. So there's 3 crowns, there's 3 hearts, there's 3 Pegasus, 3 violets, 3 Medusa, 3 rings, 3 mermen, 3 apples, 3 wheels, and then there is 1 scissors. The deck also comes with meaning cards, so you can refer to the cards quickly while you're learning them as well. Okay, so I'll put the meanings aside for now. If we look at the images, the crowns represent wealth, represents power. However, the crown is not a very good card in a love reading. If you think of the royal family, they're not known for their deep love and romances and relationships. Okay, so the crown comes first before love. So this is about your position in life, your wealth, your power, but it's not really a good card for romance questions. It's a very good card for career questions. Now, if someone's asking about will they be successful in their job and they get 1 crown, that's pretty good. If they get 2, that's even better. And if they get 3, that's really, really, really good. That means they're going to be at the top of their game. They're going to have a lot of power and a lot of success. Okay. Now, the second card is the hearts. Again, we have 3 hearts. Okay, so this is very good for love. This is the card we need in a love question. So if someone's asking about a love question and they don't have a heart in their spread, this is not a good sign. It shows that there's no love energy. Okay. Now, if they have too many hearts, if they have the 3 cards, 3 heart cards in the spread, it could indicate that there's a third person interfering. So it's not good to have too much emotions, too much passion. Next card is Pegasus. Now Pegasus is the card of friendship. It also is the card of travel. So in mythology, Pegasus was always there to help his friends and the heroes get away from monsters and get out of difficult situations and rise above. So this one usually means a helpful friend is in the wings waiting to assist you if you ask them. So in the mythology, whenever the hero needed assistance, he would whistle for Pegasus and Pegasus would come and help him and rescue him. So this is about the person you're reading for needing to ask for assistance and it will come. This is also good for an uplift and also very good for travel. So if you have one card, it shows there's a helpful friend or there's a trip coming. If you have two or three, there's many travels and many people that are willing to help the person. In a love question, it is a bit like being free though. Pegasus didn't like to be committed for too long. He would help the hero, and once the mission was complete, Pegasus would then be free. Next card is the violets. Violets are plants that are very fragile. They need the right elements to survive. They need the right amount of water, they need the right amount of sunlight. Too much sunlight can burn them, and too little can make them not grow. They also need the right type of soil. So this card represents the right elements have to be in place in order for things to grow. It's also the card of patience and it takes time. This is also a good card for stability and property and being grounded. Okay, this is the opposite of travel. This is about staying still and growing and being patient. Next card is Medusa. Now in mythology, Medusa was the goddess that was so ugly that she would turn things to stone. So this is about self-sabotage. This is about self-blockage. Also in the mythology, Medusa, the way they killed Medusa was by getting her to look into a mirror. So this is about the person having to do some personal reflection to notice how they are sabotaging themselves. Next card is the rings. The rings represent commitments. They represent unity, partnership. It also can be something valuable too. Rings are valuable. So this can represent something that is to do with money gain or opportunity to gain wealth, but it is usually about partnerships. Next card is the merman. Now in mythology, mermaids were sirens that would sing to the sailors, and then the sailors would be mesmerized by this beautiful singing, and then they would get shipwrecked. So this is about being led astray. This is about hearing false voices. And it's a little bit like, be careful what you believe. It's a bit like fake news. Okay. It also is slippery. Someone who's very slippery, you can't grab onto him. Okay. It usually does depict a male, but it can sometimes represent a female. But most of the time I do notice that this represents a slippery male. Okay, so this one really warns the person to be careful what they believe and also be careful of being tricked. Next card is the apple. Now in mythology, the apple, if you think of the Bible, the apple was the fruit of knowledge. It was also temptation. So this is about someone tempting you. Okay, now the apple also in Greek mythology, the golden apple was a beautiful golden apple that was offered to the goddesses, but it ended up creating a war. It ended up creating the Trojan War. So this represents an offer that looks beautiful, but brings calamity with it. This one means be careful what you believe as well. It also means something that looks good on the outside may not be good on the inside. Okay, so generally it represents temptation, seduction, and also some trick. There's a trick or a trapdoor connected to the situation. The next card is the wheel. The wheel represents change, and it also can represent travel. If you think of wheels, they're on things that travel, like cars and buses. So this is about movement, change. Also, the Wheel of Fortune in the tarot can be about luck and chance. So many wheels represents lots of changes. Sometimes it can be unpredictable change as well. So if your spread has a lot of wheels in it, it represents the person is going to go through much change. Okay. The last card is the single card, and it's the scissors. The scissors basically represents cut, stop, don't go further. There's a chapter change. There's an end of one season to begin another. So the scissors is a bit like the death card, or in the Lenormand, it's a little bit like the scythe. So this represents stop, cut, let go, finish. Okay, so that's basically the card symbols. So as you can see, there's not many to learn. And this is why I created this deck as well, because I wanted something very simple to read. And then later on, I ended up teaching this to many, many people. So the beauty of this deck is you can pretty much learn it in 20 minutes to half an hour. Now, when you purchase this deck, it comes with the meaning cards as well. So you can go into more depth. So each card has the meaning, the cheat sheet with it, okay, just to make it even more simple for you. I tried to make it as simple and as clear and as easy to learn as possible. Okay, so for all those people who are struggling to learn Lenormand or tarot cards, and it's taking you months and months and years, this deck you can learn pretty quickly, and that's the beauty of it. Okay, so now we're going to learn the spreads. And I'm going to teach you 2 spreads. Now these spreads are unique to this system. These are not tarot card spreads, these are not Lenormand spreads, these are Trinity card spreads. So let's do a simple one. So I've shuffled the cards. So what we do is it's a 4-card spread. So I'm going to have a subject. My subject for this one is my friend Jay. He wants to know if he's going to get a job soon. So let's see if he will get a job in the next 6 months. Okay, so I've asked my question, will Jay get a job in the next 6 months? So what you do is you pull out the first card, which represents our person, Jay, and the second card represents the job. Will he get the job? So this is our person, this is the job in this case. Now, if he was asking about love, this would be himself, and this would be his love life or lover. Now, the middle card is the foundation or the connection. So J, job, the connection to it. And then the last card in the 4-card spread is the outcome. So let's see how Jay is doing with his job search. Okay, so he is depicted as the merman. Merman represents someone who is slippery, someone who is fishy. So it looks like Jay may be looking for a job, but he also may be being slippery about it. Perhaps he's not looking properly, or he is somehow delaying things, or perhaps he's not really communicating very well. Because the mermaids used to sing, but they were deceptive. So there's something slippery going on with Jay in his job search. Now let's look at how his job search opportunities are. Okay, so there's something that is cut off. So this looks like his approach, his slippery behavior or attitude is not going to produce anything good. It's basically saying there's nothing for him because of him being slippery. Let's look at the foundation card. It's going to take time. He also needs the right elements. So as we can see, he doesn't have the right elements. He's got slipperiness and he's got a bit of a cut off. Now let's look at the outcome. And he has got Medusa. Medusa is about self-sabotage. So my friend Jay looks like he says he wants to find a job. He's saying it, but he's not really putting out the right vibe. Perhaps he's avoiding, perhaps he's being very slippery. As a result, nothing is coming to fruition. It's telling me that he needs to have the right elements for the violets to grow. The soil needs to be fertile for it to work, but it's showing me that there is a big block for him in the next 6 months. So if this was my client, I would definitely talk about his energy and his attitude and what is he actually doing to get this job or get a job. And I would say until he gets the right elements, nothing is really going to grow here. In fact, the poor violets are really blocked. There's sort of 3 block cards. Okay, so nothing's able to really germinate or grow in this situation. Okay, so let's do another one. Let's do a famous couple. Let's do Meghan and Harry. Let's do Meghan Markle and Harry, Prince Harry. Let's see how they're feeling in their relationship with each other. So let's do this from Meghan's point of view. So Meghan will be this side. Okay, Harry will be this side. So if you had a client, female client, who was asking about her love life, this is how you would do it. You would do this as her, this is her boyfriend or lover or love interest. This is their connecting card, and this is their outcome. So let's see what we get for Meghan and Harry. So Meghan has got Medusa. She is somehow blocking something, self-sabotaging, something ugly, perhaps her attitude, perhaps her point of view. Let's look at how Harry's reacting. Okay, he's pretty committed. Looks like he's very committed to her. And it also shows that obviously they were married and engaged. Now let's look at their connecting card or their foundation. Something is tricky. Something looks good on the outside, but it's false. Okay, the golden apple represents something beautiful, looks good, but on the inside it's not good. It's going to cause problems. Now in mythology as well, the golden apple basically created the Trojan War. So the city of Troy basically was destroyed. So it shows that this relationship, there's some form of destruction in it. Although Harry seems committed and in love, this is not good. Okay, the outcome. The outcome shows an ending for these two. So probably in the future, their problems will just get so difficult and so toxic that probably they will divorce, or they will split, or they will have some time apart. But what I can see from these 4 cards is it looks like Harry was quite committed. You know, he was in love with her, and that's why he obviously married her. Okay, so that's the 4 card spread. Now, sometimes we want to take the 4 card spread to another level. So sometimes your client might want to know more. So what we do is we simply add more cards on either side. So this side is still Meghan, this side is still Harry, and this is the connecting cards. And we end up making this into a 10 card spread. Okay. So let's look at Meghan's side. Okay, she needs the right elements. She needs to get on top of her ugly Medusa and create harmony. Let's see if this is gonna be so. And then Harry gets all ugly about it. Okay. Now the problem here is the middle card is also called the heart of the matter. The heart of the matter, unfortunately, is difficult. It's not showing that they're going to actually make it work. So if I pull these cards down so I can get the rest in. Okay, now Meghan's also committed. to him, and let's see how he responds. Okay, so they're still married. It shows they're still committed, even though this is pretty messy and pretty ugly. Let's look at their connecting card. And someone wants to break free. So it shows there is commitment there in the future. Now this can be read past, present, and future. But the middle card, the connecting card, is showing that there's a problem in their marriage. One of them wants to get out. And the outcome is it needs the right elements. Okay, so if you notice in this spread, there's no hearts. So even though they may love each other, or they did love each other, or even if they do love each other, it's showing me that love is not being expressed in their reading. What they have is ugliness. They have to get the right elements for this to work. They seem to have a strong commitment or marriage, or they were committed to getting married. But in the heart of the matter, there's a big block. There's an ending. Okay, and the last card tells me they need to have the right elements. And in this reading, they don't have the right elements because there's no heart. So if Meghan was my client, I would say to her, there's love missing, there's commitment, and perhaps legal commitment, because she has 3 rings, but there's joy that's missing. The heart represents joy, fun, passion, emotion. I would say to her that they have a chance to make this work with the violets, but they really need to bring in the right elements. But unfortunately, I would also say to her, this marriage is not heading for somewhere good at this point, unless they have a big, big turnaround. There's a lot of love that is not appearing. So over time, these two may fall out of love, or they may have so much pressure and self-sabotage in place that it blocks the opportunity or possibility of love. Doesn't look good, Meghan and Harry. Okay, so that is the 10 card spread that came out of the 4 card spread. Now, I'm going to leave this video here. If you would like to learn more deeply, please join my Facebook group, and you can ask me questions in the group. This is the Trinity Fortune Telling Card deck, and this is Paris Debono of the Fortune Teller Shop.